I think that, like so many other people who end up becoming therapists, I think I was aware at a very young age about the dysfunction in my family. And I was a very vocal child. I was very much a truth teller and said it like it was. And I had no problem, confronting people on what I thought these dynamics were. And I remember I used to write my dad letters of like, oh, hey, guess what I figured out? I figured out that grandma did this to you and now you're doing this to me. And so it doesn't
At
have
what
to
age?
happen. I was like 9 when I wrote my letter to him, just saying, like, I thought I was this brilliant person. I had just figured out these generational dynamics that, oh my
How?
God.
Stop.
Well,
Share.
okay. So, I mean, essentially, I just noticed things about my grandmother. Like, she was really hard on my dad, and she just was always very much favoring my aunt. And my aunt was not the nicest person on the planet. My father wasn't the nicest person on the planet, but my aunt was definitely just not a nice person. And my grandmother very much valued her and my cousins over me and my sister. And there was just like this, a lot of those dynamics going on that I could tell my dad was rejected, and he became very successful, bought them a house, and he still didn't get the attention and validation from his parents. And I just noticed these things. And I figured just the way that she kind of was neglectful, that must have been hard for my dad. And I figured, I would confront him about that and be like, hey, so you should probably relate to me a lot more, because the way you probably felt with grandma, that's how I feel now.
How would he respond to that?
Not very well.
Yeah.
Not very well. So it was mostly a lot of gaslighting, a lot of I'm a liar. And so I became, you
Mm.
know, someone who I was pegged as the scapegoat that, yeah, Jamie's a liar, don't believe her. And it makes you really question, like, am I seeing this wrong? Is this stuff normal then? Like, is there something wrong with me that I thought I had this so clearly understood? And then, I just retreat further and further into myself and start suppressing my own needs and my own voice, and just tried to become as invisible as possible by that point as a teenager. And so then I think it wasn't until I got to college and I was living with my sister. She had gotten into a lot of drugs and a lot of issues with that, bringing bad people around. And I realized that this was just really unhealthy and I need to get out of here. And so I think me moving away from the family, going to New York City at 19, getting to talk to a counselor at that point at NYU, realizing like, oh my God, I couldn't really see anything clearly so long as I was like still in it, living in the dynamics. And that's where I think things started to become a little bit clearer that maybe I wasn't crazy and maybe there's something wrong here. And maybe there's a reason my sister became an addict,
Mm.
and that I have this self-esteem that I do and these issues that I do and picking all the wrong people and being attracted to this kind of chaos all the time. And so I would say at 19, it kind of crystallized where I finally started believing, no, I think there's something valid here that's wrong.